Good evening, soldiers and citizens. General Blastoise here with a new and improved tutorial on obtaining the elusive Fleet Datacron as a group on the Imperial and Republic side in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Even though I said it is updated, it's not because everything in my previous tutorial has been patched out or doesn't work anymore, but rather I found completely new breakthroughs thanks to the help of participants who needed the Datacron. One error I did make in my previous tutorial is that it's exclusive to the Imperial side. However, after researching it and even trying it out, I found out both sides are completely parallel to each other, with some minor differences. I will demonstrate what that looks like later in this video. But before we get to the items list, let me list a few requirements for the host of the Datacron runs. You must be a subscriber to Star Wars: The Old Republic so you can use 2 disciplines. You must be at a minimum level of 68 to use the required moves for this run. Oh, and that includes having a ship. Your classes have to be a Shield Tech, Power Tech / Shield Specialist Vanguard with a second class of Scoundrel or Operative. For the Imperial side, I will use a Power Tech and an Operative, while in the Republic side, I will use a Vanguard with an Operative. You must have Extraction Plan for your Power Tech or Vanguard at level 27, and Holotraverse / Trick Move for Operative / Scoundrel at level 68. And that's why I put the minimum level of 68 before. And of course having some platforming skills. I will demonstrate what that looks like in the video. Now to the items list. What you will need are the MGGS from Daragon, the Corellian Museum Crystal from Corellia, and the Cormium Crystal Shard from the Ziost Shadow Museum on Imperial side, or the Daragon on the Republic side. The entire group only needs the Cormium Crystal Shard, not the former two. It is a requirement to obtain the Cormium Crystal Shard for those who need the Fleet Datacron, otherwise the door will not open. If you have a particular side that you prefer, I will demonstrate where the items are located for both sides. I will put timestamps for those who prefer a particular side. With that out of the way, let's proceed to the tutorial. This section is specifically for the Imperial side. The first item on our list is to obtain the MGGS from Daragon. To make travel simpler, and free of course, go to Group Activity, click on the Solo tab, and then click on Daragon. We'll want to go to Outpost Talern to get the MGGS. If you have not discovered the area, head for the closest speeder port as demonstrated here. For the purpose of this tutorial, I will be using quick travel to get there quicker. Now that we're here, head down this little path and then jump above the rock barrier. Keep going down this path until you reach a small shop with a vendor standing next to it. You'll want to buy this shotgun-looking weapon, the MGGS, and as you can tell, I did buy it before. One thing to point out is that the MGGS is a unique item. You can't buy it twice in your inventory. The only way you can buy the MGGS twice is if you put the MGGS in your legacy bank. But for this tutorial, only the host needs the MGGS. No one else has to have it. Now that you got the MGGS, the next item on your list is the Corellian Museum Crystal, which is located on Corellia. Same as before. Go to Group Activity, click on the Solo tab, and then click on Corellia. And same like last time, you can head to the closest transport station to get to the next destination, in this case the tram station. You'll want to head to Axial Park South. If you have discovered the area, you can quick travel there, which I am going to do. Now that we're here, we're going to take a long trip to the Coronet Zoo. It's a long way there, so I'm just going to speed up the process just a touch. You will now be looking for a crystal standing up next to the Crate Dragon Skull inside this huge box. You'll want to click on it and you'll be given a prompt to pick it up. If you've already obtained the Fleet Datacron, then you can pick up the Corellian Museum Crystal a second time. and as the host, you will need to. The reason being is how the game works for some strange reason. When you obtain the Fleet Datacron, the Cormium Crystal Shard and the Corellian Museum Crystal disappears. However, unlike the Cormium Crystal Shard, you are able to pick up the Corellian Museum Crystal a second time, and it will never go away from your mission items inventory. And that is it for obtaining items from 2 different planets, at least for the host. Now you'll want to head back to the fleet and head for the Ziost Shadow. And if you want to get there faster, you can buy this legacy travel called the Fleet Vanguard Vessel and go inside the mission deck of the Ziost Shadow. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I will go the longer route and demonstrate how to lead people to the station. You'll want to take people to mission departures on the left side of the map. Go to the inner fleet section, and then go to the transport droid and head for the Ziost Shadow. You can quick travel to the Ziost Shadow, or you can use the Fleet Vanguard Vessel to get there free. Whatever floor you'll be on, you'll want to head to the elevator and go to the bridge deck. Go all the way up until you see the other elevator and go to the museum floor. At this point, you want to make sure everybody in your group is in the room. The next step as host is to switch to an operative. For convenience, I separated both Power Tech and Operative based on loadouts. I definitely recommend doing that. Hold traverse to the medical droid and then go inside this vehicle. Here you want to activate this panel that'll open a door. Lead the group inside so they can pick up the Cormium Crystal Shard. You'll want to stand in this particular spot and click it so you can pick it up. If you already obtained the Datacron, you won't be able to pick it up again. Now lead the group out of the crystal room and go near the statue so you can activate another door. If you have already obtained the Datacron, you'll need someone to help you open the door. With the Correlian Museum Crystal that you already obtained twice, you can activate this part of the door. And because someone in your group has obtained the Cormium Crystal Shard, they can activate the other part of the door, this little green switch. And now this is where the fun begins. Everybody can head inside the secret room as shown here. The next step is to have everyone stand on this part of the ledge, and as the host, your job is to walk on this part of the rail and then roll down to the platform below. In my previous tutorial, I used to have to do a tricky jump, but one member during my runs pointed out that I could just try rolling it, which really simplified the process a whole lot. Now as host, you must stand in this part of the ledge and pull everyone using the grapple. It is a 45-second cooldown, but apparently for Imperial side, if you switch between your operative and your power tech loadouts, you can refresh the cooldown of your grapple. I didn't show it here because I did not know it at the time. But if you still want to make the process go by faster without having to switch between loadouts, you can pull sorcerers/sages and they'll pull the rest of the group. That is, if you have them in your group. Or if you have juggernauts/guardians and other operatives/scoundrels, they can leap or warp towards you. Now as host, you can direct all your members into the center of the platform. Now you want to hit this back panel. It will activate something called a magnetic stabilizer, which we will need to grapple to using the MGGS. You'll want to stand here and hover your mouse up in the rafters until you see a magnetic stabilizer. The key is to seeing your mouse hovering over it. The next step is to hit this panel and then jump down a couple of platforms to find another magnetic stabilizer. I didn't record this, but you can get to the stabilizer after you drop down the first platform and run near the end. And now the next step is the tricky part, doing a precise jump. The trick is to hit spacebar and then forward and right in milliseconds. You mainly want to hit the spacebar first. And just a little bit of spacing is needed to get a large jump. As you see here, I accidentally slipped and went inside the beams. Luckily, typing/stuck got me back up there, and I was able to try again. Now, if you do not want to do the precise jump, I have found a much easier method to getting to that platform. And you can follow the keyboard inputs. What you will want to do is jump a few platforms here next to this panel. It will take some trial and error, but there is a platform. And then the next thing you want to do is jump onto the very edge of the magnetic stabilizer. Sometimes you may jump too far and you'll go on the other edge. But the one thing you do not want to do is go in the middle, or you'll fall through. The next thing you'll want to do is turn to the platform which you want to go to. I would recommend angling more inward to where you are located. And now you'll want to roll to the platform. The good thing about this method is you are less likely to fall off the edge. This is specifically if you prefer to not do the precise jump, since it is a bit technical. But once you're up here, you're in an easier spot. The next step is to summon your companion. You'll want your companion to be closer to the edge. The trick is to jump right before the summoning bar is full. Once they're in position and hopefully not moving at all once you move, you can move back just a touch and go on the I-beam, and then you can haul traverse to them. Now that we're up here, this is the part where the group is going to thank you for simplifying the run for them. You'll want to roll on this purple platform. Then you'll want to switch to your power tech loadout so you can pull everybody on this platform. It is a bit of a lengthy cooldown for pulling everybody unless you switch between loadouts. But once you get everybody on the purple platform, then you can haul traverse to your companion. If you're in a large group, you might have to leave so you can summon your companion, because sometimes if you have too many people in your group, you won't be able to summon your companion. I highly recommend creating a 2-man temporary group so you can create a checkpoint system. If you're creating a checkpoint system, make sure you pull up your buddy first, haul traverse to your companion, pull up your buddy again, and put them into position. Then you both can leave and ask for a re-invite into your main group. And then you can pull everybody for the last time. Something to note, there are points where you might accidentally clip someone to the floor if you pull them in a certain position. Make sure that you're back just a touch and jump while you pull so that they can get a safer landing. But once you get everybody pulled, that is it. And now everybody can open the door, go down the hallway, and obtain the elusive Fleet Datacron. This section is specifically for the Republic side. The first item on our list to cross off is the MGGS from Alderaan. To make traveling to Alderaan easier and free, of course, click on the Group Activity section, click on the Solo tab, and then click on Alderaan. Once you've arrived on Alderaan, the first thing you want to do is head for the closest transport droid, as demonstrated here. You will want to go to Ward Post Lourdes Thranta. If you already discovered the area, you can quick travel there, which I am going to do. Now that you are here at Ward Post Lourdes Thranta, you will want to head down to this path. Unlike the Imperial side, getting to the shop is not as straightforward. You will eventually cross the left border of the map. It did confuse me at first, but after heading down the path just a little further, I was able to cross the left border. You will eventually see a shop where there is a vendor that will sell the MGGS. Keep in mind that you can only buy the MGGS once because it is a unique item. If you want to buy more MGGSs, I recommend summoning a Legacy Bank droid. Store your MGGS in there, buy the MGGS again, rinse and repeat. But you'll only need one for yourself as the host. Our next item on the list is to obtain the Corellian Museum Crystal from Corellia. Just like before, to make traveling to Corellia easy and free, just head to the Group Activity section, click on the Solo tab, and then click on Corellia this time. Now that you're on Corellia, the first thing you want to do is head to Axial Park North. You'll want to go to the nearest tram station, as shown here. If you already discovered the area, you can quick travel there, which I am going to do. Now that you're here in Axial Park North, the next thing you'll want to do is head down to the Coronet Zoo. It will be a long way there, so I will speed up the process just a little bit. Now that you are here, you'll want to look for a crystal standing up next to this crate dragon skull. Once you see it, click on it, and it will give you a prompt message to collect it. If you've already obtained a Fleet Datacron, then you can pick up the Corellian Museum Crystal a second time, and as the host, you will need to. The reason being is how the game works for some strange reason. When you obtain the Fleet Datacron, the Cormium Crystal Shard and the Corellian Museum Crystal disappears. However, unlike the Cormium Crystal Shard, you are able to pick up the Corellian Museum Crystal a second time. Now that you have the MGGS and the Corellian Museum Crystal, it is time to head back to the fleet. For the Republic side, the museum is located in the Daragon. You do have the option to travel there via the Vanguard Vessel Fleet Legacy perk. For the purpose of this tutorial, I want to demonstrate how to lead a group from the fleet towards the Daragon. So assuming you have all your group members with you, lead them towards the right side of the map into the Mission Departures elevator. You'll want to head to the Inner Fleet Transport floor, and then go all the way to the Transport Droid, and then head for the Daragon, which is the bottom station of the map, but I am going to quick travel there. Whichever floor you're on, whether it's the Inner Fleet or the Missions deck, you'll want to head to the elevator and go to the Bridge deck. Now you'll want to head down the map until you reach the Museum elevator, and then go up into the Museum floor. Make sure everybody is present and accounted for. The first thing we want to do is collect an item called the Cormium Crystal Shard. Make sure you are in an operative class and warp to the medical droid. Go inside this vehicle and click on this panel. It will open a door that leads to the Cormium Crystal Shard. Now you can lead your group into the room. For some strange reason, you can mount on vehicles on the Republic side museum. I don't know why Imperial side does not have it, but this is a weird feature. Now make sure you have your team members stand here to click on this blue crystal, and make sure everyone collects it. If they can't open the Datacron door, it is because they don't have the Cormium Crystal Shard. And make sure no one in your group has never collected the Datacron, because you will need them to open the first door. Now you will want to lead the group back into the center of the room. You'll want to be on the platform where the statue is. There will be two switches on the statue that you'll want to activate. One of them is the Corellian Museum Crystal, which you need to activate. You'll want to place it on this switch. You'll need at least one member of your group to activate the green switch. It requires the Cormium Crystal Shard. And now you'll want to lead the entire group into the secret room. Keep going until you see the first entrance. And this is where the fun begins. Make sure you have everybody stand on this particular spot of the platform. As the host, your job is to switch to an operative class and then roll to the lower platform. You will then switch to your Tank Power Tech / Vanguard class to pull everybody down there. For some strange reason, on Republic side, you won't refresh the cooldown of your grapple when you switch loadouts. To make the process go by faster, if you happen to have Sorcerers / Sages in your group, pull them first and have them pull the rest of the team. Or if you have Juggernauts / Guardians and Operatives / Scoundrel, have them leap or warp to you. Once you got everybody on the platform, you will be doing the rest. Have everybody stand in the middle of the platform so you can pull them later. You'll want to hit this panel that will activate a grapple object called a Magnetic Stabilizer, which is what you will be using the MGGS for. Luckily, the Magnetic Stabilizer is a lot more visible on the Republic side, so just look up a little bit and then click on it. For convenience, you'll want to switch to an operative class because you will be needing it later. The next thing you will be doing is hitting this panel to activate another Magnetic Stabilizer. There are different ways to get to the Magnetic Stabilizer. Unfortunately, you won't be able to click on it from this platform. The way I did it was I jumped off this platform onto an I-beam platform, and then I just jump off the I-beam into the next platform. And then moving a little further in, you will see the Magnetic Stabilizer. The next thing you'll want to do is summon your companion up on the top platform. The first version I am demonstrating is moving back a little and then running forward and jumping at the same time. The second version of this method is jumping on the Magnetic Stabilizer panel and then jumping up again on the platform. You will need to move further down until you are underneath the platform where you need to summon your companion. Now you can summon your companion. Unlike the Imperial side, summoning your companion is very easy and there's little risk involved. Make sure that you jump right before the summoning bar fills so that your companion summons up there. Now you'll want to move back until your companion is in view and then holo traverse to them. The next part is a little tricky and I'm still looking to optimize this. What you will want to do is roll on that specific platform where you're going to pull your group. The problem is that there is this large magnetic stabilizer in the way. You'll want to make sure that you position right where I'm at or else you're going to fall into the abyss. The key is to angle against the magnetic stabilizer, but still aiming at the center. If you are inside the magnetic stabilizer, you will want to fall through the hollow part, but once you are on the platform, then you can pull everybody up. If you have too many members in your group, your companion will not be summonable again, or remain in position. So I recommend creating a 2-man temporary group. Pull up your buddy first, holo traverse to your companion, then pull up your buddy again, put them into position, and then leave the group and ask for a re-invite to your main group. And once you get everybody on the platform, you can holo traverse to your already summoned companion, or your temporary buddy you used before. And then once you get up there, you can pull everybody up, and then everybody can obtain the Datacron. I made a completely huge error thinking the Republic side Datacron was impossible to get. Thankfully, it is parallel to the Imperial side, with some minor differences. And that is my new and improved updated tutorial on obtaining the Fleet Datacron on the Imperial and Republic side. I usually do this every day to help people out, and it's not because I need anything in return, it's because it is just downright fun to me. But it's also because I want to encourage this to be a guild activity. The Fleet Datacron used to be one of the hardest to get due to the requirements involved, but luckily it's very easy to get the Datacron through this method. Good news is, if you obtain the Fleet Datacron on one side, you will not have to do it on the other, since the Fleet Datacron counts for both sides. I hope you found this tutorial to be very helpful. I wanted to make this as in-depth and easy as possible. If there's any misinformation or anything you want to point out, please leave it in the comments below. Please let the community know. But I hope everybody has a wonderful day and happy Datacron hunting. Peace and dismissed.